Hey everyone, so this is a very different kind of video than I have ever made before, but I want to talk about characters that have released so far, what typings they've been, what path they've been, and what we're missing for each of those. Now, types is going to be real easy. I mainly want to be looking at premium 5-star units. By premium 5-star units, I do mean characters that have released where they want us to pay for them. They are on their own banners. They're like the new released characters, so I'm not really going to be talking about what I call like the general banner 5-star units, you know, the unfeatured characters on every single thing, which are like Yanqing, Welt, Himiko, Jeopard, Bronya, and Bailu, Clara as well, right? Those characters that I really want to talk about. It is interesting. We did get one of every single path for those initial 5 stars that just like released with the base of the game. They're unfeatured on every banner, right? But I do want to talk about the premium ones, you know, from Zila to now Jing Li Yu. But of course, we won't ignore the upcoming characters that they have showed us that they're releasing, that being Topaz and Numbi, which are, of course, coming just a little less than a week now. So if you know, I'm going to be summoning. So, you know, if you're interested in that, subscribe. But there's a couple characters coming in the next update, which would be 1.5. And these are characters that they have revealed to us, like the devs have revealed to us. Now, I'm not going to be talking about any leaked content. I do want to do videos on leaks eventually, but I haven't super looked into them. You know, if you're worried about spoilers, I'll do thumbnails with like no spoilers, anything like that, because I wouldn't want to be spoiled myself. I completely understand. So I know you have to mess on a Blue Jink video, and that's going to be sad for everyone, but you know, it's better to do that than to be spoiled when you don't want to be spoiled. So but Huohuo here will be coming out the first part, and then the second part will be Argenti and Hanya, obviously being the 4-star. Huohuo is a 5-star despite not having this gold background like the rest of the 5 stars do. But 5-star there. She is Abundance, Wind Abundance, and he is Erudition Physical. But what's interesting is that with the release of Argenti, who's the physical one, that will be all of the types represented by a premium 5-star unit. The last one to be represented will be physical. We just got many firsts. Obviously, physical will be a first, but fire is about to be the very first premium fire unit. Jing Li Yu released and was the very first premium ice unit. Obviously, Locha was the first imaginary, but we've got a second imaginary with Dan Heng. We have gotten, let's see here, 2 lightning characters with Kafka and Jing Yuan. We have gotten 2 wind technically with the release of Huohuo being the second one, but blade there being the first one. We also have what you call it, 3 quantum characters with Zila, Silverwolf, and Fu Xuan. I think that's it for premium units. So most of them have been quantum so far, as I'm sure you've noticed if you've been looking around the game. You know, we've gotten a lot of quantum characters. Surprisingly, second most is a tie between a lot of these, but it's interesting to look at how long and how we're getting. You know, we've had so many characters released so far. I feel like we're drowning in releases of characters. We currently have more 5-star characters than 4-star, and technically we had more 5-star characters than 4-star before Jing Li Yu came out, if you counted the Trailblazers as like 2 separate ones. They're 2 different typings if you did. But you know, even if you didn't, with the release of Jing Li Yu, we do have more 4-stars. I mean, we do have more 5-stars than 4-stars, which makes sense because as they've been releasing 2 5-stars for every 1 4-star, which I don't know if that's going to change. I don't know if, once we get to a new planet / region or whatever, if we'll have like a bunch of general 4-stars just released, because to fill up a lot of space for whatever new place we're at. But I'm not sure. Now, the typing's interesting, but what I find to be more interesting is the paths. Now, the paths are all represented right away with the release of the game with the original banner characters, right? Your original 5-star banner characters that are featured on every banner. They do take up a place for every single path, type of different path. But what's interesting is the premium 5-star units, what have and have not been shown yet. And there is actually only one type of path that has not been represented at all across our premium 5-stars, and that is Harmony. We only have one 5-star Harmony character, which is Brawn. And to be fair, she's been holding up that position quite well. She is, insane. She is the best Harmony unit. But it is odd that we've gotten so many, like, Destruction. We have 3 characters from Destruction and no Harmony, which I have to say is odd. And now we're getting our second hunt character, and then we're going to get a second abundance, and then we're going to get our second erudition with our Genti. Like I said, Jingliu is our third destruction. Pretty much second to everything. The only thing we have only one of is, what is it? It's preservation. Fushuan is our only premium 5-star preservation unit. And for the foreseeable future that the game chooses to let us see, it is going to be the only preservation unit. But I found it very interesting that we do not actually have any characters of Harmony that are released, and we don't have any upcoming. That said, Harmony is actually one of the few classes that I'd say is represented incredibly well by 4 stars. The 4-star Harmony units are very good. I find Asta to be quite great. Tingyun is pretty amazing. Yukong has your uses, but I'm not a huge fan. I'm not singing a bunch of praises in Yukong. But, Tingyun and Asta I find to do a really, really good job. But I am interested to see what they will do for Harmony and how they do it. Now, what I find interesting, now let's look at the types of characters we have, is how many we have of each type here. So the least represented type is a 3-way tie between Fire. However, Fire is about to get 2 new characters and jump up to 6, which will actually put it to one of the most represented types in just a second. But what's the other one? Wind is about to just get 1, which put up to 5. But we have Blade Brawny, Danheng, Sampo. But Imaginary is the lowest, which just makes sense because when Imaginary when the game came out, there was only one Imaginary character, and that was Welt. We have gotten 2 premium 5-star units of Imaginary since then, and of course 1 banner 4-star character that came out. But obviously the highest growth goes to Quantum, which is at 5 right now, which started the game out, and it actually had, let's see here, only Chingcha as the 5 as a Quantum character. But obviously, release of game, technically Zila came out instantly, which was the very first premium unit. But we have had 3 premium Quantum characters, and of course one of them was as well a banner unit on newly released banner unit, 4-star banner unit for one of them as well. So Quantum definitely has the highest growth so far of any typing. Now, as far as the most represented typings, which would be at 6, I believe, that would be Ice. Fire as well, like I said, is about to go up to 6 in just less than a week here. But Lightning as well has a lot of representation. That said, even these ones with high representation are still missing some paths, and none of the typings have paths, every path represented. So Physical has represented Destruction, Nihility, Abundance, the Hunt, and it says Adaptive, but it's really just another Destruction character. The Trailblazer, the physical version of the Trailblazer is Adaptive. So that means what we are missing for this is Erudition. However, Erudition is coming with Argenti, I should say. I guess I should put Physical on the list of the long ones. Actually, Physical will be the most represented because there's a banner unit coming out with Argenti as well, that being Hanya. So actually, it will all of a sudden jump up to the most represented one, which kind of makes sense, actually, if you ask me, because I will say that it's the most quote-unquote general typing I would think of. If I thought of like a basic typing, I would think of Physical. So that kind of makes sense. But so what we have represented there are those, and then of course we're getting Erudition and Harmony, meaning that this one will only need a preservation character before Physical has every single typing. Fire has 4 right now, obviously Harmony, Erudition, Destruction, and this one's Preservation. And then of course we have a character from the Hunt coming and a character of Nihility, meaning that we are missing Abundance for them, and I believe that is it. Yes, just Abundance, because Nihility and what you call is coming with Preservation. So we're missing Abundance, so we do not have a Fire healer yet. Once that happens, Fire will have a character of every path. Ice, despite having one of the most, has a repeat here. So it has Preservation, Erudition, Destruction, another Preservation, Nihility, and the Hunt, meaning what's missing for this one is Abundance, and I believe that is it. Since we get a healing Ice character, to be fair with some of these ones that are missing, actually, it is a little bit like healing Ice, not 2 typings maybe you'd think would correlate, if you ask me. So Lightning, we have Destruction, Abundance, Erudition, Nihility, another Erudition, a second one, and Harmony, and no Lightning characters coming up. What we are missing for that, yeah, because we have Abundance. So what we're missing for that is a Preservation for Lightning characters, which makes sense to me. Wind, we have 4 here, but we are getting one more with Huo, who is Abundance. But right now we have Destruction, Harmony, Hunt, and Nihility. Meaning, yet again, we are missing Preservation. That's one that we're missing all the time. We're getting Abundance. We're missing, Preservation. And I believe that is it, yeah. Because we have, all those. So, yeah, and one of the few, one of the only, the only 5-star Harmony unit in there as well. Quantum has Preservation, Abundance, Erudition, Hunt, Nihility. Yet again, doesn't look like any new Quantum characters are coming anytime soon. What we're missing is surprisingly actually Destruction. We do not have a Destruction Quantum character, which is just funny because I'd say Destruction is probably the most looked as the path with the most characters, but I guess we will check that when we look at the path one specifically. Another thing we are missing on this one is Harmony as well. There are no Harmony Quantum characters, so no Quantum characters that do any buffing of any kind. However, I will say there are no repeats in the Quantum characters. Next up, we have Imaginary, which again has no repeats. This one of the smallest ones, so it has Destruction, Abundance, Nihility, and Harmony, meaning that it is currently missing Erudition. It is also currently missing Hunt and Preservation. So those are all things to look out for in the future, the release for those. Now let's just look at the paths themselves and see what is the most represented, what is the least represented. Then we can finish this off. So yes, there are 7 characters for Destruction, which is, of course, it is the general DPS, right? It is, it's the, I always call it more like the classic warrior class or fighter class. It's, they're tanky, not as tanky as Preservation. They deal damage, but they don't deal like any specialized damage, right? They can do all types of damage, but they don't like excel in one way. However, I will say that most of these characters they've done are the best ones. I would say Destruction is just because they're like the most well-rounded one. I'd say most of them have been like the best characters to release overall. Like obviously Zila has been kind of dominated the game for a while, and as soon as she fell off, they decided to do Mono Quantum, and now she's right back on top, if you ask me, because not even just on strength. For strength, I would say the Destruction character is the strongest, but what's unique about Zila that I think so far is her insane usability. It's easy to use her. She's on the best team in the game that has the most viability, usability, using everything. So that's one reason why I would rate her higher. But strength-wise, it is like, Blade, Dan Heng, Jing Liu. They are some of the strongest characters in the game by far, and I'd say you'd be a little silly to disagree with that statement. They deal insane amount of damage of both types. The Hunt characters, obviously we have Zila, who pretty much carries this category, this path. But the only premium 5-star unit for now, well, obviously we do have Topaz coming into the Hunt, but it still only puts up to 5, which right now the Hunt is pretty down in the dumps. I would say that the Hunt is definitely one of my least favorite paths personally. Dan Heng, normal Dan Heng, not a big fan of him. He's really simple. He's like a beginner character. He's very, he's a free-to-play beginner character. What can you expect, right? It has to be simple because that's like the point. But obviously Zila's crazy, but she's got the whole thing on her shoulders. Yuan Qing's decent, but I find him more and more annoying. And now that Jing Liu has come out, I've had no reason to really do anything with him. And Su Shang, I have her, but I have not actually tried her out, so I will have no opinion on her right now. Erudition is unique in the point that I think Erudition is actually the worst path in the game right now. Only one premium 5-star unit, and that being Jing Yuan, who is definitely lower on my tier list, and I'd say a lot of other people's for good reason, because, I do not have him. He is one of the few units I don't have. Jing Yuan, Himiko are 2 of the 4 characters that I just do not own. So it's hard to say for Erudition. However, even, if I had them, I use them, I also say probably Erudition is the worst path. We do have a new Erudition character coming, that one being Argentine. I hope he is very good. I've not looked at any of the leaked stuff on him, so I have no idea how well he performs, but I'm assuming he's going to be good because most of the characters are good. Jing Yuan is good in a way. It's just that he takes a long time is the problem. It takes a long time. It seems like you have to put a lot of resources into him for him to be decent, and it's whatever. Himiko as well in a similar way. Alright, I think Himiko is actually getting a huge buff with the new release, that one being Topaz, and hopefully Jingyuan maybe gets a big buff depending on how Argenti works or some other characters that come out. We'll see what happens with him. But Chingcha can be decent, but you have to literally max her out, and even then she only like goes up to the she's a lower leveled 5-star if you get her up to that level, and I'm saying on like the Mono Quantum team she was like that before. I would say she was one of the worst characters. Serval's like okay, she's useful for what she does, for a 4-star like free to play type character like that. She's okay, and Herta's obviously like really bad. So that's kind of why I'd say your edition's the lowest, just because it's premium 5-star is the lowest. It's not free to play. It's general minor 5-star isn't the best either. We'll have to see. Hopefully Argenti can save that one. Harmony obviously is one of the lowest ones as well with 4. We do have a new Harmony character coming out, that being Hanya, but that's another 4-star. Though before, the only 5-star Harmony character is Bronya. She is really good though. Talk about Zila carrying her like category. Bronya is actually not carrying nearly as hard because Tingyan and Asta do put in a lot of work, and even Yukong has her uses. I'm not a bing fan of her. I think she is really annoying to use, but I'm not gonna say like she's bad. But Tingyan and Asta are exceptional. They've done a really good job on their Harmony characters, so I'm hoping that Hanya is good as well, because it's only one 5-star. Harmony really does need their characters to actually be good to be useful. Nihility is at 6, which that's not the most, is it? No, yeah, Destruction's at 7, but Nihility has a lot more than I thought they would. So Nihility is second highest. Obviously premium 5-star units in Silverwolf and Kafka. Kafka feels way more like a Nihility type character that they've been releasing more of than Silverwolf does. Obviously Nihility characters are in a little bit of a weird spot because I originally thought of them more like debuffers, and you kind of get either like they do debuffs or they do really good DOT damage. So they're like halfway between support and a damage dealer themselves, and so you get a lot of characters that are kind of like half in the way. Like Silverwolf, I don't really call her a damage dealer. She could deal damage, but mainly what she does is she's a debuffer. Kafka is a damage dealer. Luca is overall a damage dealer. Pella is a debuffer, right? So it is they do very different things, which I find to be fun. When the characters are very different, if you ask me. Obviously, you keep them like a class, but for something like Abundance, Locha, obviously, he's an insane healer, crazy safety net stuff, but his primary stuff is attack, and he could actually deal a decent amount of damage. It's hard to just call him a healer. To be fair, no other Abundance character does anywhere close to the amount of damage he does, but again, that's because he built him attack. It's very fun. It's very different, but not as different as Nihility characters. They are just straight up designed different. Pella and Sampo, Pella and Luca, Kafka and Silverwolf, they're not designed the same in any capacity. Whereas like when we go up to Destruction, despite Dan Heng, Blade, Jingli, I'm not gonna say they're like designed differently. Like they have different what's the word? They have different like play styles to use them, right? Jingli, you get her into her super mode and then she kind of goes crazy. Blade, you just go crazy the whole time. Very consistent character. Then Dan Heng sucks, so it's he doesn't suck, not really, but he's very annoying to use if you ask me. I find him to be very low flexibility and very annoying to use. Worth it? Yeah, sure, but not as much fun. Anyways, so point is that they aren't actually very different, but something like Kafka and Silverwolf are, so I find the hill to be really fun. But I guess that was the point of what I was saying there. We do have another Nihility character coming, actually. I just remembered. The Fire, was there Gwyneth she's coming out, and she's Nihility. So Nihility will be matching Destruction as the most represented path in the game. which makes sense. I feel like we're getting Nihility all the time. To think that Nihility started with just Pella, Sampo, Welt. Silverwolf came not that long later, and then of course we got Kafka and Luca at the same time, and we got another one coming. So very interesting. Preservation. If you asked me what the lowest represented one was, I would say Preservation, and I'm very surprised to find Abundance to be as low as that one. Harmony as well, although Harmony makes a lot of, even the, okay, see, it's a little crazy because like even Hunt is that low, and it's like I would not guess that. But Preservation very low, and was very low for a long time because all three of these were release, right? All three of these were on release. So it was the lowest for the longest amount of time, but then all of a sudden we got Fushuan. Fushuan is obviously, well, I guess no, this one was because, I mean, we only had two. So all three of those released, and then they were matched with Locha, and then they both went up to 4 at the same time. So actually these two are the lowest, my bad. But Fushuan, obviously our only premium 5-star preservation character. Really, really good. Jeopard as a 5-star preservation as well. Very, very good. March 7th, I would say, has her uses. That's for sure. She is the number one partner with Clara, but our Clara's fallen off. But that doesn't mean March 7th's fallen off entirely. Best partner, I would say the best use for her, yeah, but she still has uses here and there. She's not a 0. I would say out of like your free-to-play characters, I'd say she's aged the best, actually. With the second one, am I just talking about 4-star like starter characters? I mean, obviously if you're doing starter between like her, Trailblazer, and Don Hung, I'd say her by far, but just 4 stars, not really. I guess that's not true. And then Abundance here, Bailu and Natasha were obviously on release. Natasha was super, super high, obviously, because she was a free-to-play healer, and she's really, really good. Obviously, the only thing Bailu really had on her was like her revive, which I will still say does make her very unique, and I don't think that's something to just forget. That she does have revive, and that is the only character that does anything like that. So that's super interesting, if you ask me. But obviously Natasha's fallen off because we've released Locha, and Locha is like so insanely like next level giga-brained, like just insane character. Like his healing is so crazy. He's just so flexible. You just throw him on every team and he just heals, makes everyone feel good, he's just such a freaking slut. Anyways, Lynx, so she obviously released, and Lynx is pretty much just Natasha 2.0. It's just Natasha, but the quantum version, does like slightly different things. I would argue with just a little bit more that she does, and stuff that I'd say is a little bit more useful, but they're like the same goddamn character. So anyways, this is supposed to be like character review, look at every character or colony, Locha, slut, or anything. The point of this was to look at what the most characters that were represented here and what we should be, expecting and think about that's coming in the future. Because, we don't have, we're close to 6 months through the game now. We actually might be 6 months super soon. At the 6-month anniversary, I was actually half-year anniversary. I was planning on doing like a full account look through. So that's actually coming up soon. I want to show off my account and everything. So yeah, again, if you're interested in anything like that, feel free to subscribe. So, as you know, I pretty much just make videos on whatever I want to make videos on. If I'm like interested in something, I'll make a video on it. So, kind of random stuff that comes here, like, hey, I want to sit down and I want to talk about all the releases we've had so far and what character types and paths have and have not been represented. Here we are. Anyway, this is a weird one, but if you enjoyed, let me know down below. Like, subscribe, all of that. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.